From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, 50 people abducted from Katsina village regain freedom. Court discharges acquits former secretary to the government of the Federation and 10 others over grass-cutting contract fraud. President Buhari approves salary for judges. And on the foreign scene, France halts development aid to Mali. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Hour. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Now we begin with matters of security, where over 40 people, including women and children, abducted from Bakiawa village of Atagarawa local government area of Katsina State have regained freedom. The abductees regained their freedom after the payment of an undisclosed amount of money as ransom to the terrorists. Abdullahi Ahmadi reports that the villagers had to contribute money and seek support from family and friends to pay the ransom to secure the release of abducted family members. His report.
Some of the freed victims who returned with various elements occasioned by trauma, wounds from beating and chaining, are receiving medical attention at a hospital in Batagarawa. Usman Buhari, who is recuperating on hospital bed from wounds he sustained from chaining, narrates how he spent months in the terrorist den. The terrorists are merciless. We were beaten severely. Look at my legs. I was chained for days. At first, they demanded 2 million naira ransom from my relatives. But later, the negotiation went on for all of us from Bakiawa village. Bakia Abdul Qadir is amongst the freed victims after payment of 100,000 naira as ransom.
We are still living in fear as the terrorists always come around armed with AK-47 rifles. My prayer is for the quick return of peace to our communities. And I hope the terrorists will repent and live a normal life. There are still some abductees with the terrorists in the bushes. There are still cases of killings, abductions, rustling of animals. All is not well with us in our communities.
Though the Bakiawa abductees were freed, residents are living in fear of another attack, as according to them, the terrorists armed with dangerous weapons can lay ambush on the village. Bakiawa village, a farming community on Katsina Batsari Road, has been battling with banditry which hampers socio-economic well-being of the community and other neighboring villages. Abdullahi Ahmadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Meanwhile, security operatives comprising of the police, vigilantes and hunters have reportedly neutralized 7 bandits in Mariga local government area of Niger State. Daily Trust reports that 2 vigilantes sustained bullet wounds and were taken to Kwantagora General Hospital for medical attention. The Niger State Police Command's Public Relations Officer, Wasiu Abiodun, who confirmed the incident, said the security operatives received intelligence that the bandits who terrorized farmers within Kumbashi district of Mariga local government were sighted moving in Kumbashi town. Abiodun noted that police tactical teams and local vigilantes stationed at the town engaged the bandits in a shootout and neutralized 7 of the hoodlums, while others escaped into the forest with gunshot injuries. Now to politics, where the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar on Thursday night had a closed-door meeting with former President Goodluck Jonathan. Ifeanyi Okowa, running mate to Atiku, accompanied him to the meeting, details of which were, however, not made available. Recently, the former president had distanced himself from the cause of the G5 governors and other challenges facing the PDP. The G5 governors of the PDP, led by Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike, have pulled out of the party's presidential campaign council, demanding the removal of national chairman of the party, Iyorchia Ayu, before they can give their support to Atiku Abubakar's presidential bid. The meeting with former President Goodluck Jonathan may be seen as part of efforts of resolving the political impasse. And ahead of the 2023 elections, the political temperature in Rivers State is gradually rising, following the executive orders 21 and 22 signed by Governor Wike. The orders forbid the use of schools and residential buildings as campaign rally venues. However, Accord Party governorship candidate Dumo Lulu Briggs has a word of caution.
The governorship candidate of Accord, Dumo Lulu Briggs, has advised the Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike not to overheat the polity in the state ahead of the 2023 elections. Dumo said the executive orders 21 and 22 banning political parties from the use of buildings in residential areas as campaign offices without approval is the height of irresponsibility on the side of Governor Wike and the PDP.
You know, you're a government, you should not want to overheat the polity. You shouldn't want that. But you take actions to prevent people from campaigning. And I've always wondered, why afraid of this contest? You are so massive. You're PDP. You've been in government since 1999. You say the other parties don't have structures. Yet those who don't have structures are frightening you so very much that you want to even close their campaign offices. Well, this is the height of irresponsibility by a political party, the PDP, and by the special grace of God. As you can see, every step that they take, we try to ensure that we remain very peaceful in Rivers State. But that's the whole idea. Twice, the candidate of the SDP had complained. Going out to campaign is attacked by PDP, hoodlums and all of that, would not be allowed even to campaign. Just to go out, now we're not going to the venues that you say you own as Rivers State government and you will not allow others to use. Just to even go on the streets, you're even stopping them from doing that. Now you want to stop them from having campaign offices,
Lulu Briggs is coming when Justice Stephen Delop Palm of the Federal High Court sitting in Port Harcourt has resolved judgment on suit filed by PDP in Rivers State against INEC, Accord and National Assembly candidates of the party for non-compliance with the electoral law while conducting primaries.
Principal complaint in the matter is that the Accord Party held the Congress's primaries for the nomination of those candidates outside the various constituencies. Under the law, we believe that renders it invalid. INEC knew about it. INEC published a report where they made it clear that they were aware that these primaries held outside the constituencies. So the PDP's case is that INEC has no right to then include the names of candidates who did not comply, whose political party did not comply with the requirement of the law.
The court has adjourned to 25th of November for definite hearing on the suit.
Wife of the President Aisha Buhari has assured Nigerians that the Tinubu-Shettima presidency will consolidate on the achievements recorded by the Buhari administration. Now, she gave the assurance at the flag-off of the APC Women Presidential Campaign in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. The report.
The choice of Kwara State for the flag-off of the APC Women Presidential Campaign might not be accidental, because the party won all the elective positions in the 2019 general election in the state. Wife of the president, Aisha Buhari led the campaign team to the Capacity Field Metropolitan Square in Ilorin. She recalled the impact of women and youth in the previous victories of APC, promising that they will repeat the feat for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. She assured Nigerians that the Tinubu-Shettima presidency will consolidate and crown the efforts of the Buhari administration.
In 2019, the same feat was repeated. In 2015, the victory was the first of its kind in the history of politics in Nigeria.
The wife of the APC presidential candidate, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, said the hope of better Nigeria is on the horizon. She promised that succor will be brought to the less privileged if elected.
The choice of Kwara was divinely chosen by our lovely mother and grand patron of the women campaign. Why is this so? It is because Kwara State is the land and state of harmony. My sister and I assure you that you can count on us as your partners in progress. Coming to Kwara State further gives me the assurance of a nation that will be more unified, productive, and peaceful.
Governor Abdurrahman Abdurrazak and his wife Olufunke promised to deliver the state and indeed the North Central for Asiwaju Tinubu. This was equally re-echoed by the APC National Women Leader Binta Edu.
Concentrate. We have a candidate in Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We have a super candidate in Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu and its running mate, Senator Kashim Shettima. Together, they will bring the Nigeria of our dreams, building on the wonderful work of our President, President Muhammadu Buhari.
After taking off in Kwara State, the APC Women Presidential Campaign is expected to move to other states of the Federation.
And former national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Adams Oshiomhole, is confident that the campaigns are going well for the presidential candidate of the ruling party in terms of winning stakeholders to his side. The former Edo State governor spoke on Friday to newsmen at the State House after audience with President Muhammadu Buhari. Kende Amodu reports.
The wrangling in the main opposition People's Democratic Party is playing out to the advantage of the APC. Also, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole believes, and he has done some calculations to back up his claim.
You find out how many governors they have. We have 23. Now, if you add 23 with 5, I'm not saying the 5 are with us, but you have 23 with 5, I guess that is 28. You subtract 28 from 36. It means only 8 governors, in fact 7, because the other one in Abga is not there. So why he has 7 governors working for him, we have 23 working for us, and we have 5 who are neutral. You know, when you are voting, when I was in ILO, you vote for, against, or you abstain. Abstention is as good as voting against.
But more important to him is the goodwill the APC has garnered over 8 years of the Buhari administration, which has seen state governments receive what is due to them.
You watched Wike a moment ago saying that the money which PDP didn't even pay them since 1999, that President Muhammadu Buhari released that money to South-South governors, other derivation, in addition to FAC. And he said they couldn't even do anything as PDP governors in the South-South to claim those benefits. But President Muhammadu Buhari ordered that all the payments that were not made, all that derivation be paid to them. And we can say this is what is using now to work.
The former APC national chairman also believes his party's presidential candidate is addressing the concerns of the electorate with his lucid articulation of what he intends to do for different parts of the country.
Because election is about interest. Whoever will address your interest, not religious sentiment, not ethnic sentiment, because hunger doesn't have religious affiliation. Unemployment doesn't have religious affiliation. Whoever will address your concerns, if you are a trader, whoever will make sure that the ports work more efficiently. You don't have to pay toll to all kinds of people. That is the kind of person you want.
Aside from politics, the former APC national chairman, who is also a former Labour leader, explains why his voice was not heard during the federal government dispute with the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU.
The current Minister of Labour didn't invite me, and there is no need to go and do busybody. But whatever I could say quietly, I said. And I will continue to do that. But I think the most important thing is that the issues are almost resolved, or they are resolved. It's now about whether you should pay me fully, even if I didn't work, or I should be paid according to when I work.
If Comrade Oshiomhole is to be believed for now, it is smooth sailing for the APC in the march towards the 2023 elections. But perhaps he's being too optimistic with his random dismissal of what other candidates are capable of pulling off. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amudu, Trust TV News.
Now, despite campaigns against violence ahead of Nigeria's 2023 elections, there are growing concerns and apprehension among stakeholders over the rising wave of political thuggery. The situation has raised concerns among political watchers in Yola, Adamawa State, that some politicians may rely on thugs for election victory where they are not popular. Now, Salis Lawan examines how politicians make use of thugs during electioneering. His report.
Although the new electoral law makes provision that address electoral violence such that it will no longer be a business as usual for political thugs to disrupt peaceful campaigns and elections in the country, but political violence is still not ruled out.
The issue of political thugs is illegal. Secondly, you don't need political thugs to win an election. But of course, you will have vibrant young men and women as adherents of the political party. To keep away from drugs, keep away from all social vices, so that the society will be secure. It is when you have a secure society that anybody can even aspire or operate.
We cannot dispute the fact that some youth among us engage in political thuggery, or let me say they have been induced to act by some politicians. All I know is that some engage in political hooliganism and thuggery with regret because those politicians will not even remember them after the elections.
We believe in God that issue of beavers and all this will work. If that will work well, then it will by the beginning of the election, it will discourage the thuggery, and that will eventually die on its own. But for government fighting thuggery now, the best of it is for things to take place itself. As securities and all these things are on the other side, they will not be able to do it.
However, stakeholders said thugs have unleashed the mayhem during campaigns of political parties in recent past, showing that the polity is yet to mature and develop to address rising challenges facing its democracy.
Youth who are into politics with the aim of shaping their future would never allow themselves to be negatively used as thugs. However, I hope and believe that the recent happenings in the polity would be a nipping bond, but our youth need to have a rethink.
In the last 2 decades, the spate of violence and political hooliganism has undermined the credibility of elections in Nigeria, frustrating effort to deepen electoral process. From Yola, Salis Lawan, Trust TV News.
Former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, has been discharged and acquitted by Federal Capital Territory High Court from the 544 million naira contract fraud charges brought against him and 5 others by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The court held that the anti-graft agency failed to establish a case against the ex-SGF and the co-defendants. Ruling on a no-case submission made by the former SGF, Justice Charles Agbaza held no ingredients of any offence were established by the 11 witnesses that testified for the EFCC. The judge held that EFCC did not establish that Babachir Lawal was either a member of the Presidential Initiative for the Northeast that awarded the contract or a member of the Ministerial Tenders Board that vetted and gave approval to the disputed contract. The trial judge also held that the EFCC failed to link Babachir Lawal with the Bureau of Public Procurement that issued a certificate of no objection to the contract before it was awarded. The judge discharged and acquitted all the defendants in the 10-count criminal charges against them for want of evidence to link them with the purported offences. Babachir Lawal, alongside his younger brother Hamidu Lawal, Suleiman Abubakar, Ape Monday and 2 companies were accused of fraud relating to the removal of invasive plant species to the tune of 544 million naira, for which they pleaded not guilty. Meanwhile, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has vowed to appeal the ruling of Justice Charles Agbaza of the Federal Capital Territory High Court, Abuja. which dismissed the 10-count charge of corruption brought against the former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal. Spokesman of the Commission, Wilson Wujaran, said that the EFCC will obtain a copy of the judgment for urgent review and challenge its validity at the appellate court. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari has approved and directed that measures be taken for immediate implementation of the enhanced salary and welfare scheme for judicial officers. President Buhari said this on Friday at the official commissioning and handing over ceremony of the Nabu Graham Douglas campus of the Nigeria Law School, Port Harcourt, to the Council of Legal Education. Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami, who represented the President, said Buhari has directed the Chairman, Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission and the Ministry of Justice to promptly commence measures towards realization and implementation of the enhanced salary and welfare scheme for the judicial officers in the country. The President said this and many other initiatives were targeted at significantly strengthening the capacity and independence of the judiciary, which he said remained a pillar of strength and stability for the nation's democracy. You're watching Trust TV News Hour, and still ahead. Cryptocurrency accepted as legal tender for tea. Details of this and more after the break. Do stay with us.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. My name is Femi Adebayo. This holiday season, StarTimes is taking us to a better level. You can step up your family entertainment with the StarTimes upgrade promo. You recharge 2 months on Nova Bouquet and get upgraded to Basic or Smart Bouquet. Recharge 2 months on Basic or Smart Bouquet, you get upgraded to Classic or Super Bouquet. And if you recharge 2 months on Classic or Super Bouquet, you get 10 days free on your subscription. This upgrade automatically qualifies you for a weekly draw to win 55-inch Smart TV, PA systems, home appliances, and more. These prizes are proudly sponsored by Longreach, Wayon, and Amaz. This promo is from the 15th November to 15th January 2023. Times and conditions apply. On StarTimes, every day is the best day ever. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. StarTimes. Entertain your family.
TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Hour. Now let's take another look at our top stories. 50 people abducted from Katsina village regain freedom. And court discharges acquits former secretary to the government of the Federation and 10 others over grass-cutting contract fraud. And moving on to other news now, Deputy Minority Leader of the House of Representatives, Toby Okechukwu, has advised that for Nigeria to realize its road infrastructure target, the fund bill must be ascended to by President Muhammadu Buhari. Okechukwu stated this in Abuja when he received a delegation from the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN, led by its President Rabiu Ali, who came to present a letter of honorary fellowship to the Nigerian Society of Engineers to him. The report.
According to the Deputy House Minority Leader, the Roads Fund Bill and Road Authority Bill passed into law by the National Assembly to give a facelift to the sector were rejected. He, however, appealed to President Buhari and all concerned Nigerians to give attention to the bills.
Engineering crisscrosses our lives. It controls 90% of our lives. It is our prayer that the Road Fund Bill and Roads Authority Bill should be paid attention to. The other day, I was listening to the minister, and he said they have over 10 trillion liability, and they have 765 billion outstanding certificates. There isn't any way you can develop roads in this country without dealing with the issue of road reforms in the system. And those acts were meant to cure that.
Earlier, while presenting the award letter, the current president, Rabiu Ali, said the fellowship was sequel to Okechukwu's contribution to engineering in Nigeria, especially in amending the current act.
Engineering has suffered in Nigeria. The act that you have given us will go a long way in putting engineering in the front burner and in its right perspective in Nigeria. The fruits might not be seen immediately, but already I want to inform Your Excellency that we have already started the implementation of the Act. And we are already seeing signs that the Act will change the face of engineering practice in Nigeria.
He said that engineering has received a boost with the new law.
The National Assembly Service Commission, NASC, has appointed Sani Magaji Tambuwal as the acting clerk to the National Assembly. The Commission also announced the appointment of key officers to man the top management team of the National Assembly bureaucracy. NASC's Executive Chairman, Ahmed Kadi Amshi, announced the appointments in a statement on Friday. He said the appointments were sequel to the approval by the Commission of a memorandum presented by the Committee on Establishment, Records and Training to the Commission on the need to fill existing vacancies in the National Assembly management team. Amshi said Tambuwal is to work with the outgoing clerk, Olatunde Amos, who is due to retire on February 14th next year. Until his appointment, Magaji Tambuwal was the Secretary of Finance and Accounts. The Delta State government has announced the termination of the contract 10 billion of Sector A of the dualization of the Ughelli-Asaba Highway over poor performance on the part of the contractor. Commissioner for Information Charles Anyagu announced the termination of the contract while addressing journalists in Asaba on the outcome of the State Executive Council meeting. The report.
According to the Commissioner, the 149 kilometers Ughelli-Asaba was divided into sectors A, B and C, with different contractors handling the various sectors when it was first awarded in 2013. The non-performing sector A, which stretches from Ughelli to Arede, was awarded at a contract sum of 6 billion naira. He said that the council approved the revocation because the contractor was not able to carry out the job as expected.
First, terminate the contract for Sector A of the Ughelli-Asaba dual carriage. Sector A is the place starting from Ughelli to Arade in Isoko. The contractor that has been handling that particular project, CCC, since 2013 when it was awarded, has not been performing up to the expectation of the administration. When we came in, we thought he wasn't doing so well, and that after a whole lot of discussion and then the review of that contract from about 6 billion at that time, that was enough encouragement for him to make progress. But each time we continued to monitor, we saw that he was not moving the way we expected him to do. And so we have not only repudiated that contract today, but we have also terminated that contract.
Anyagu also said the government of Delta State is working out ways to stop the act of internet fraudsters in the state.
We have not gotten to that one, examining the issues of internet fraud, and we do hope that once we consider it, you will see our approach to dealing with this issue of Yahoo in the state, so that at the end of the day, none of us is defrauded by individuals who think that they are smarter than the rest of us and will want to take advantage of us by taking the funds that we may have legitimately suffered to earn in the course of time.
The Commissioner noted that due to fluctuation in the prices of raw materials, the contract was reviewed upward in 2015 to the region of 10 billion naira. Though the upward review did not motivate the contractor to work on the project.
And at least 12 blocks of shops were on Friday gutted by fire in Nkwo Umunze Market in Umunze Orumba South local government area of Anambra State. No life was reportedly lost in the fire, which started in the morning. The cause of the fire had not been ascertained, but eyewitnesses in the market said goods worth millions of naira were destroyed in the inferno. Reports said that the fire outbreak emanated from New Life line and affected about 8 blocks shops and 4 Bacha shops. Fire Chief in the state, Engineer Martin Agwili, confirmed that no loss of life in the incident, saying that cause of the fire is still yet to be ascertained. Now, tea selling is a popular business in the northern parts of Nigeria. And some of these tea sellers are inventing unique ways of conducting and expanding their businesses in a bid to attract more customers and be sustainable. Isa Ismaila completes a report on a vendor who is embracing crypto as a legal tender.
Increase in business activities have changed the way people enjoy their breakfast. One of the popular spots for breakfast is a tea brewer joint, popularly called Mishai, who mostly run their businesses in makeshift shops. Unlike other regular tea sellers, Rabiu Halilu, who owns a stall few meters to Gwagwalada main market, has recently transformed his 2-year-old tea business by adding crypto as one of the means of payment for his services.
My friends motivated me to join Pi Network, and I decided to put the idea into my tea selling business because nobody is doing it yet. I decided to collect a Pi for 500 Naira combo just to give it a trial. So far, it has been successful. In life, generally, one has to take risk. So I took the risk.
Despite being mocked by some of his friends for accepting Pi as a means of payment, he says he's determined to continue on the path he has chosen.
Currency is used by almost every business person in Nigeria. As for Pi, not everyone uses it for payment. People mock me sometimes, saying my business will crash and I'll go bankrupt. But I believe God is the only one who can decide that.
Rabiu added that since he started accepting Pi as a means of payment, he has not experienced any shortage in his business despite his little capital.
Honestly, all praises to the Almighty because everything is going well for me so far. Accepting Pi has not affected my capital, and what I have been doing financially has not reduced. No matter how long it will take before I benefit, if there is life, that's not a problem.
In this makeshift shop and on this table, Indomie is eaten and paid in Pi. This combo is 1 Pi, or equivalent to 500 naira in Nigerian currency. But the big question to ask is, if Pi eventually gains value between the buyer and the seller, who is at the losing end? Or when is Pi even going to be valued? And on what price is Pi going to be valued? Pi, the cryptocurrency Rabiu accepts, is yet to be valued in the crypto market, as well as credible crypto platforms. However, Malam Idris Tanko, the chairman of Gwagwalada Pi Mega Mall, an umbrella body where Rabiu belongs, said the digital currency is already valued in Gwagwalada, and its value depends on the agreement between the buyer and the seller.
In Gwagwalada, it has already come in existence. We can see that we have a man that is collecting fine to give you shai, suya, pepper soup, beans, and the rest. And we have many that are collecting inside market in terms of cosmetics. I myself that I'm seated here, I do give shoes to people that come with their file. Mala Rabiu does, myself I do. When you come to me, I collect each file and give you a shoe at the rate of 1,000 naira.
The tea seller, having carved a unique identity for himself and his business, remains hopeful that the digital currency will be valued and widely accepted by Nigerians. Isa Ismaila, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, disposing of solid waste could be an eyesore and a source of discomfort, but reuse and remolding plastic containers creates an opportunity for teeming unemployed youth in Abuja. In this report, Trust TV's Kabir Lawal examines the use of plastic containers and how youth reuse them to keep food on the table for themselves and their families.
Plastic materials are easy to mold into a wide variety of bottle shapes, improving their appearance and utility. Manufacturers incorporate integral handles, measurement marks, and pouring lips into some types of plastic bottles. In addition, plastics can range from crystal clear to any shade or color, whether translucent or opaque, making products and brands easy to identify by sight. Plastic bottles require no paint. The coloring material is mixed into plastic resin, so it never runs, rubs, or washes off. However, youth in Abuja are now using plastic materials as means of livelihood. A cross-section of youth spoke to Trust Television, added that they buy plastic containers from boys or even women and sell to those that will recycle them for use.
Ya zamto kamar sana'a ne gare mu, ingantacciya wadda mun karike, ita muke ci, ita muke sha.
These are business. We fend our families with plastic business. For those who think what we are doing is dirty, it is not. It is highly lucrative. We don't beg for food or help from our peers. We at times go out to pick these plastics. At times, people bring it for us to buy. I have been into this business for 10 to 12 years, and it has been successful. The youth further said that engaging in business is interesting as it keeps them away from bad influence and youth restiveness in the society. I'm among those that pick these materials to where they are being stacked. We go to where people dump them through nooks and crannies, and at times we pick them up on the refuse. After picking them, we now put them on a scale to buy them. Some people reuse plastic bottles to design unique houses like this one. Statistics, however, indicate that 1 million plastic bottles are purchased every minute around the world, while up to 5 trillion plastic bags are used worldwide every year. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Nigerians are a people known the world over for their resilience, high-spiritedness and will to overcome. However, is this the reason why citizens are yet to enjoy the dividends of democracy? In this report, Sagir Ibrahim examines the reasons behind the self-organizing attitude of Nigerians and why their dependence on government has reduced over the years. His report.
Since its return to democracy in 1999, the country has had 23 years of uninterrupted democratic government. However, how much impact has it had in the lives of Nigerians?
What's the input the government is making? The security in the country is poor. There's no light to even do a proper business. Now my business, the kind of business I do, needs electricity to function properly. Now there's no profit generating. If I spend in a day, if I'm spending 20,000 naira for fuel, how much am I making? And I'm paying staffs.
I don't depend on government. I'm a carpenter, furniture by profession. So I don't depend on any government. Hustle. If you learn handwork, know what you are doing, you can get job. You focus on your job and forget about the government.
So God say, work and I will help you. That's what I'm doing. I'm a Tyler. I want to go hustle. So I get. Government is not doing anything for me. Which government?
These authors are of the opinion that Nigerians' self-organizing impulse is what has been preventing Nigeria from becoming a failed state. In their book, they explain that Nigerians are indeed behind whatever success individual Nigerians and Nigeria are achieving.
I mean, look at the stats. Year-on-year spending by central government has dropped over the years. In fact, it keeps dropping, and the numbers keep getting worse off. Minimum wage, if you juxtapose it for dollar relativity, 40 years ago was better than now. Government has failed largely. We encourage them to do better. But Nigerians too should be able to look at ways they can upscale. And they are organizing everywhere. Look at the healthcare sector, look at private healthcare, even look at the education system. The failure of government schools have led to the proliferation of private schools everywhere.
But the question is, do Nigerians have a choice to do otherwise? More importantly, is it the self-organizing nature of citizens that prevents government from rising to its responsibilities?
I wouldn't say it's lack of choice. I would say it's the desire to have better. So I would say it's more the desire to have the best and do the best for our families, for our communities.
The crop of the people that are living below the poverty line are not as a result of lack of economic activities in the country. It is just that the dividends of those economic activities are not in adequate circulation.
According to a latest survey by the National Bureau of Statistics, 133 million Nigerians are currently poor. And with the current inflation rate at 20.91%, there is a looming rise in the cost of commodities, which will further impact the standards of living of citizens. Nigerians are, however, hopeful that the 2023 general election will usher in a new government whose impact will be felt by all. Sagir Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Abuja.
So that's on Trust TV News Hour. The news continues shortly. Do stay with us. Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Hour. The National Bureau of Statistics joined the rest of Africa on Friday in Abuja to celebrate the African Statistics Day, observed every 18th of November. The theme for 2022 is a call for the creation, distribution and use of agricultural statistics to upgrade data systems while reiterating the need for the accurate data collection. Chamun Dabeng reports.
In recent times, food insecurity has become a major concern in Nigeria, which has been exacerbated by both internal and external factors. By implication, nutrition is greatly impacted, and so is the general well-being of Nigerians.
Over the past 6 months, the issue of food security and nutrition has been a topical issue in many countries across Africa, most especially since the start of the Russia-Ukraine war, which has had significant impact on food supply in the continent, with over 40% of Ukraine's annual wheat and corn being exported to Africa. In Nigeria, which is a major importer of grain from Ukraine, the situation is further exacerbated or making worse by the security challenges and recently the floods that have affected farming across the country. Producing and using the right agricultural statistics to inform policies and interventions that could help boost output, improve nutrition, as well as food security in Africa is of high priority and a matter of urgency in Nigeria.
Minister of State, Budget and National Planning Clem Agba, who was present at the event, reiterated the importance of data collection to nationwide development.
As we all know, statistics are crucial to the economic and social development of any country, as they generate public debate and contribute to the progress of nations. They are necessary for informing government policies and programs, building globally competitive businesses, academic research, developing innovative technologies and products, making investment decisions, and building the economic and social environment for future generations. Reliable and timely agricultural data provides governments with the right information they need to make well-informed decisions in business and policy within the entire agricultural value chain. With the sector accounting for around 25% of our economy and employing more than 50% of the population, directly and indirectly, the need for sound agricultural-related information will not be stressed enough.
In order to attain proper development within the nation, there is a need to capitalize on the usage of data collected. Chamun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Central Bank of Nigeria has been charged to ensure adequate sensitization on the electronic naira and the planned redesign of some banknotes.
To the market people and the artisans, so maybe
something will be cheaper.
CBN to provide adequate information on their activities. Some traders in Osogbo said the redesigning of the banknotes is a welcome development and hoped it will change the economic outlook in the country.
We don't know much about it, at least for now. So if the central bank can go down and let us understand much better and simplify it to the market people and the artisans, so maybe gradually it will be acceptable as a means of between small holders at community level.
If they change our own money too, if they make 5,000 and 2,000, I think something is going to be better in Nigeria, and maybe something will be cheaper again.
It is the best approach to address our economic challenges. We cannot continue as a nation. Most importantly, the decision is permitted by CBN Act that they have right to change currency every 8 years, and it's more than 10 years that we are even change our currency now. So it's a good step that the federal government has taken to really address our economy.
The United Nations has condemned the killing of a humanitarian worker by an operational soldier at Damboa in Damboa local government area of Borno State. In a statement, the UN coordinator for Nigeria, Matthias Schmel, described the incident as disturbing and sad, saying the humanitarian is a staff of Médecins du Monde working in the community. Earlier, the Assistant Director of Army Public Relations Operations at Nkai Maiduguri, Major Nantip Zakom, said the soldier shot and killed a soldier and injured a co-pilot of one of the UN helicopters. According to reports, the said soldier is a Special Forces member who lost his temper and went after the crew members of the aircraft shortly after landing with some humanitarian aid workers in Damboa. He first shot and injured the pilot, who attempted to escape from the scene. Thereafter, he turned to the humanitarian workers and fired at them. The soldier reportedly stabbed the deceased aid worker severally with a knife until she gave up the ghost. And according to French media reports and representatives from the Foreign Ministry, France has stopped its provision of development aid to Mali due to the presence of Wagner mercenaries from Russia. It is believed that funding for a few non-governmental organizations and humanitarian aid to Mali will continue. According to media sources, the decision was taken 2 to 3 weeks ago, and various non-governmental organizations wrote to the French President Emmanuel Macron to express their disapproval of the choice. France provided Mali with $490 million in aid between 2013 and 2017 through the French Development Agency. Mali, which is home to 20 million people, is ranked 186th on the UN's 2021 Human Development Index and has acknowledged that it needs aid because 40% of its population is in need. And to sports now, where FIFA and Qatar on Friday banned beer sales around the 8 World Cup stadiums in a stunning policy U-turn just 2 days before the start of the tournament. Football's world body said the decision was taken following discussions with World Cup hosts Qatar and Islamic State, which severely restricts alcohol consumption. It gave no reason for the surprise decision. However, a FIFA statement said alcohol will be focused on fan zones, removing sales points of beer from Qatar's FIFA World Cup 2022 stadium perimeters. Now let's join Adeni Ajishafe for sports news.
On the 29th of March 2022, Nigerians woke up with the belief that their national team, Super Eagles, will qualify for 2022 World Cup as they play Black Stars of Ghana in the second leg tie in Abuja. With MK Abiola Stadium filled to the brim before the kickoff of the crucial encounter, Nigerians were confident that Eagles will fly. The match ended in a 1-all draw, with Ghana qualifying on away goal advantage after the first leg ended in a barren draw. Nigerians were unhappy to witness such a performance from Super Eagles and had to accept the fate that their team won't be at the World Cup. As the World Cup kicks off in Qatar, Nigerians have reacted to the absence of Super Eagles at the world's biggest football tournament. While some say Super Eagles' absence has made 2022 World Cup awareness drop, as others believe the absence of Nigeria has got no impact of slowing down the balls around the World Cup, as they will watch irrespective of Nigeria not participating. Ishaku Usman believes Nigerians will not pay much attention to the World Cup because Super Eagles are not there.
But in those days, Nigeria footballers, Super Eagles, have been trying their best to be taking some cups. But this very one that we are today, since over 8 years today, we have been not getting anything from the footballers. So, in fact, the painful is at home. They knock us out, Ghana, in our homes. It's very painful. I don't think Nigeria will continue to watch Super Eagles if they cannot change or they cannot amend their ways.
Imagine Daddy Gaskin says with so much support given to Eagles in order to qualify, yet they did not. Hence the reason he will not be watching or support any team.
Unfortunately, we at the tail end, they disappoint us. So that's why we don't talk about it, because what we all have in mind is that even though they start, when they reach quarter-final, they will not be able to meet up.
James Iheanacho believes some Nigerians are not paying attention because it looks more like celebrating others while yours did not make it.
If you ask me, I never make any plans to watch this World Cup. Just for the fact that my brothers, my fellow lovers, my fellow citizens could not make it to the World Cup. But I really love football very much.
Despite not qualifying for the World Cup, some Nigerians will not mind supporting Ghana, Tunisia, Morocco, Cameroon, and Senegal at the Mundial. That's Sport News. I am Adeniyi Ajishafe.
And that wraps up Trans TV News Hour for tonight. For more news, you can subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for watching.